was kind of like thinking about something the other day
Yeah.
that I was wondering, like, in this day and age, it seems like people just are not, when it comes to relationships, they're just not like faithful. But then when it comes to like the third party coming in, is there,
Or
from a man woman standpoint, um, well, maybe not even just from a relationship standpoint, forget man, woman, whatever. Are there people who give off side piece vibes, or are there people who are just creeps? Like,
oh
meaning,
no, that was
like as a woman, could I be giving off a side chick vibe,
definitely.
or is it just a lot of men are just creeps?
I mean, I think both. Two things could be right. What do they do? What do the young kids do? Both of them.
Both of them.
Yeah,
Both of
both of them. Yeah. Two things could be right. I definitely, I know that women give off side chick vibes, and I'm
So
definitely.
what does that look like as a man? What does that look like?
She just want to party. The girl that goes to the bar every weekend, and the one that always talk about how she's single and always just these niggas ain't nothing ish. My last man cheated on me. I don't want to be in a relationship. I'm just out to having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Those type of girls.
Mm.
Now they might, and the ones who say they got a wall up.
That's a side chick.
Yeah, because they don't want to commit. So if you're able to sneak around that wall while they still think they got the wall up, next thing you know, they the side chick and they don't even know they the side chick.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's certain clues a woman will give you.
That she's gonna be down to be a side piece.
Mm-hmm. Now, if you start talking to a woman and you notice that she's going out every weekend, or even like a Wednesday, she's going out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah.
I mean, I would have never thought that. Or for somebody who's going out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
So
Saturday,
let me ask you this:
or it's susceptible to being a side chick.
If a person that doesn't, if they're not hosting, or if they're not a bartender, or even a stripper, would you take somebody without that much serious?
Probably not.
And would you think that they would even stop when you start trying to be serious with them? No. If that's the life they live at that point in their life, they're not going to stop doing it. Mm. So that's how I look at it.
Because, I mean, from my standpoint, like, I literally could not go out that much. Like,
I've seen it.
Way too tired. I could not do it.
I've dealt with women like that. And most of the women that's like that, again, I was younger, but they're borderline alcoholics. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I dealt with women like that. What you doing? Oh, it's blah, blah, blah on Wednesday. Thursday, I'm Thursday. Friday, well, such and such is here performing. Mm-hmm. Saturday, oh, we go down here, down on the strip. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Even Sunday, you might get some people to go to the Trappers on Sunday. Mm-hmm. So it'd be like, it almost be like that Ludacris song, that ATL song. He's like, Monday, blah, blah, blah. But
you know what? You just made me think of something, and it don't necessarily have to do with side chicks or side dudes. There's a lot of people like that, like, who go out like every night. But do you think when they do that, they don't realize that they are alcoholics?
Yeah, I think they don't realize it. Did you ever try to tell somebody? Because when you on the outside looking in, did you ever tell somebody who think that they're a casual drinker that they're alcoholic? They will look at you like you just cussed them out.
Yeah.
You be like, hold on, but then you start running down the receipt. You drunk this day, that day, that day, that day, and this day. They start looking at you like you cussing them out. Like, no, I just want to bring it to your attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think a lot of people's like, I think the perception of you being an alcoholic, you think that you got to be stumbling and passing out every day.
Yeah, or wake up having to have a drink.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or like hiding bottles underneath the bed.
Yeah, like it don't have to be that extreme. You can be an alcoholic just from being a habitual drinker.
Yeah. So, but do you think that speaks to, like, because I was gonna say, like, in like the Black community, Like, do you think that people are just doing that to find an escape from like
Oh yeah,
whatever it is? But
we take happy hour to a whole different level.
Right, but you're looking at it like I'm just going out to have a good time. And yeah, this is like I just at the end of a long work day, or maybe not a work day, or at the end of a trying day or week, or whatever. Like you're constantly going out like I need this release, but what do you need this release from?
Drowning your sorrows in a bottle.
Yeah, but we're not. I think the scariest part is that we're not aware of it. Like
or we may be aware of it, but we would rather do that than go to a therapist. Or we would rather. A lot of people in the hood that I noticed, alcoholics, they became alcoholics because they wasn't taking their depression pills or any type of pills like that, and they started just going to the bars and drinking instead of facing their issues. So I do think it's an awareness issue with the way alcoholism is in the hood, but I just think in the hood period we have a bad addictions, like as far as addiction personalities.
I don't even think it has anything to do with well, it might have something to do with personality. I just think that there's a lot of we normalize trauma.
Oh right? Yeah, we don't know what the PTSD is.
Right. So if you normalize trauma, then you're certainly not going to be aware that what you're doing as an escape is to take your mind off what normal would be like.
Yeah, because it'd be crazy. It's crazy because you don't know that until you go somewhere where everything is normal. You know what I mean? Like if you're in a normal neighborhood, if somebody's friend dies, it's like almost down there at the end of the world.
Yeah.
Like I didn't understand that until I got around people who I guess are in the high activity neighborhoods, but because we lose our friends, you might lose a friend every year, you know what I mean, or acquaintance every year. But you go somewhere else, you like, oh, this don't happen like that.
Yeah,
they're like, no,
yeah,
weirdo. Because I'm like, oh, dang, they're going hard for such and such.
Or it might not even be something like losing a friend or a loved one. It could be somebody, you're in an emotionally abusive relationship where somebody's cheating on you constantly. You're really not happy, but you can't really see your life without them. So what are you doing? You're drinking wine every day, or drinking,
or you going to the bar,
and
drinking, or like or sitting on your couch and drinking, and just waiting for them to come on. Wait until I give them a piece of my mind.
Wait till he get this 75-line text message that he's not gonna read.
A lot of times we try to fake it out though too, like almost like that. I'm good. I'm alright. I'm gonna go out.
Yeah.
Show you.
Yeah.
Show you I'm okay. But yeah, no, I think and as far as guys being creeps, guys, I think
I wanted to get to that. Sorry.
Social media brought that to an all-time high. Like if you had told me before social media that most guys were creeps, I'm like, no, you're stereotyping just the dudes you know. But boy, oh boy, what's this Facebook or whatever hit? And you see a girl post a pic. It could be a girl posting a pic with their grandma who just passed away. And next thing you know, the DMs is going off the chain. It's like, what? Boys be just doing anything, just trying to get a glimmer of hope into the door.
Which, I mean, I think there's different kinds of creeps, though. There's the single creep, but then the creepier creep is the guy who's in a committed relationship who's still trying out there, like, looking for something.
Now, do you call that a disease? Is that a disease?
What do you mean?
Sickness?
Is it? I don't know. Part of me wonders do guys do that with the...
But don't get it twisted. Women do it too, though.
I know, but I feel like men do it more.
Women, there'll be a straight up married woman here, you be thinking like, ain't you married?
Like, but do guys do it to see if they still got it? But then if the woman bites on that bait,
exactly.
Like,
no,
now we got a situation.
That's the excuse they give their mate when they get caught. I was doing it to see if I still got it. But no, like you said, and Chris Rock said it, most men are as faithful as their options. So if a woman says yes, 9 times out of 10, if he's a creep, he's going to do it.
Yeah.
It's just women don't have a creep radar, so they don't know when. The dudes know. If most of the time when girls be telling me about the dudes that be doing weird stuff in their DMs, I'm like, yeah, he's a creep.
Mm-hmm.
But it's unfortunate that women don't know that until it happens to them.
And see, the thing is, you know what's like in my situation is really like sensitive because I am single and I'm literally not even talking to nobody.
Anybody.
So like if I have a friend or if any of my friends, like their guy comes off as a creep, I can't say nothing because I'm gonna look like the hater. So I just gotta chill. Be like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, such a creep.
You just hating because you single.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first line.
Like, but I just keep my lip zipped because I don't want to be that girl. But yeah, you got your real creep on your hands. So do all men cheat?
Mm-mm.
What percentage would you say cheat?
Won't you say humans? What percentage of humans cheat?
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of women cheat.
Because I think like the main reasons why people cheat, like when it comes to men and women, like I feel like women cheat for different reasons than men cheat.
I don't think so. I think that there's just something incomplete that they're trying to fulfill. I think that's the only reason why people cheat, unless you got a sickness and you just like, I can't stop thinking about
a sex
women.
addiction.
Yeah. But other than that, I feel like it's to fulfill some type of void in your life.
I don't know. I mean, and maybe it's just me. Like I'm just not like, I would rather end it. Because this is just like.
But I'm gonna say, I'm gonna answer the question you asked me. Like, I'm gonna answer the question you asked me like 2 minutes ago. The percentage, I would say. Now, are we talking about just the United States or as whole as the world?
Let's just narrow it down to the United States.
Now, this pre-social media, after social media. It's like
we can do now, yeah.
I apologize, America, but I'm gonna go with a whopping 73%.
Where did the 3 come from?
I don't know, because I didn't want to do 75. I want to at least get 27% to the faithful people.
Okay, so you're saying as a whole population, men and women, 73% of us are cheaters.
Yeah, now when I say cheating, it's not always sexually. I feel like you could cheat more than sexually. You know what I mean? I feel like if somebody's stimulating your mind mentally where you're thinking about them in the wrong ways, then that's cheating too.
Cheating is anything that you wouldn't appreciate your partner doing.
No, because I
don't
think Marcelina was cheating on Chic on Life After Lockup, but she didn't appreciate
that's not cheating.
that.
That's just lying.
Exactly. So it's not the same.
I shouldn't say just lying because lying is a big deal, but that's not cheating. But I'm talking about when it comes to like having like, okay, you might think these phone conversations are innocent.
Oh, no.
Y'all didn't do anything, but you are still developing like an emotional relationship with this other person. Whereas some people might not see that as that big of a deal. It's still cheating because you wouldn't appreciate it. Like I wouldn't appreciate it if
a cheater thinks that's not a big deal.
Yeah, like I wouldn't appreciate it if I'm doing that. Like I wouldn't appreciate it if the guy who I was involved.
But I want to ride out for my men though, because at the end of the day, these women cheat just as much as men. Now you might not cheat, and you might be on your Christian family values, which is cool. But there's these girls out here that's acting just like dudes. They like, he ain't, but such and such was in my DM talking about he would take me to Cancun. Blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to say I'm going with my girls.